Did you know that 1 in 7 people globally are affected by food shortages? That's a staggering 925 million people. It's easy to imagine food scarcity as a distant problem affecting only those in far-off developing countries. But let's burst that bubble. Food shortages are a global issue, reaching every corner of our interconnected world. From the bustling metropolis of New York City, the serene countryside of Tuscany, no place is immune. In fact, you might be surprised to learn that developed countries often face shortages of essential foods due to factors like climate change, labor shortages, and logistical issues, among others. And with the winter months on the horizon, the situation could potentially worsen. Weather conditions affect crop harvests and transportation. But hey, don't grab your pitchforks just yet. We're here to guide you through so you can navigate the chilly season with a full pantry. And with winter coming, these numbers could rise even further. But don't worry, we've got you covered. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more financial tips and content to help you navigate these challenging times. Ever noticed how honey prices have been soaring lately? Bees are not on strike, but there's a shortage. Yes, the sweet, sticky, golden delight that makes your morning toast a little more exciting and your tea a little more soothing is becoming a rare commodity. And no, it's not because bees have decided to unionize and demand better working conditions, though that would make for a fascinating story. The reality is a bit more complex. The main culprits behind the honey shortage are climate change, disease, and habitat loss. These factors have been causing a substantial decline in the bee population. And as we all know, no bees means no honey. Climate change, with its extreme weather patterns, is making it increasingly difficult for bees to forage and survive. Diseases like colony collapse disorder are wiping out entire colonies at an alarming rate, and the loss of natural habitats due to urban development and deforestation is leaving these tiny creatures homeless. These factors combined have led to a dramatic decline in honey production, hence the skyrocketing prices. But before you start panicking and hoarding jars of honey, let's explore some alternatives. Maple syrup, for instance, is a great substitute. It's sweet, it's natural, and it's versatile. You can use it in your baking, drizzle it on your pancakes, or stir it into your coffee. And the best part? It's not made by bees, so it's not affected by the same issues. If you're feeling a bit more adventurous, why not try making your own jams? You can use any fruit you like and control the amount of sugar you put in. It's a fun activity, it's cost-effective, and it can be a great way to make use of those fruits that are starting to look a bit sad in your fruit bowl. So the next time you're out shopping, maybe give that expensive honey a miss and try something new. Remember, life's too short to be stuck in the honey aisle, fretting over prices. There's a whole world of sweet alternatives waiting for you to explore. Love your steaks and burgers? You might have to brace for a lean winter. Now let's sink our teeth into some meaty matters. Meat is a staple in many diets worldwide, but we might be facing some challenges with our meat supply this chilly season. Before we all start panicking, let's take a look at why this might be happening. First up, disease. Outbreaks like the African swine fever or bird flu can cause massive culls, reducing the global supply of pork and poultry. These diseases don't just affect the animals, they impact the entire food chain, from the farmers to the butchers, all the way to your dinner plate. Next, increased demand. With the world's population growing, we have more mouths to feed. This growth means more demand for meat, which can strain the current systems of production. And when demand exceeds supply, we all know what happens. Prices soar, and not in a good way. Finally, environmental challenges. Climate change is not just about melting ice caps and rising sea levels, folks. It's also about unpredictable weather patterns and more frequent natural disasters that can impact livestock production. Droughts, floods, you name it. These events can disrupt the food and water supply for livestock, making it harder to raise them. Now you might be thinking, great, so what's the solution? Well, one option is to consider plant-based meats. These are not just for the vegans and vegetarians among us. They can be a great alternative, offering similar taste and nutritional value to their animal counterparts. Reducing meat consumption is another practical step. This doesn't mean you have to give up your favorite steak or burger completely, but maybe instead of having meat every day, you could have it every other day. This small change can make a big difference, not just for your health, but also for your wallet and the environment. Remember, a little less meat won't hurt, and your wallet will thank you. Tomatoes, the unsung heroes of our salads and sauces, are also facing a squeeze. These rosy red fruits, yes, they're fruits, not vegetables, have been battling a few challenges lately, and it's affecting their availability and prices. Firstly, let's talk about the weather. Tomatoes are a bit like Goldilocks. They don't like it too hot, they don't like it too cold, they want it just right. But with climate change rearing its unpredictable head, the just right conditions are becoming rare. Too much rain can lead to diseases like blight, while too much heat can cause sun scald. And let's not even get started on frost. Tomatoes hate it. Then there's the issue of pests. From aphids to tomato hornworms, these little critters love to munch on our precious tomatoes. And while farmers are doing their best to keep these pests at bay, sometimes nature just has its way. So what does this mean for us, the tomato-loving populace? Well, we might have to brace ourselves for pricier tomatoes or even shortages in the supermarket, but don't despair, there are ways to navigate this tomato trouble. One option is to grow your own tomatoes. Now, I know what you're thinking, I can't even keep a cactus alive. How am I supposed to grow tomatoes? But with a little care and patience, you'd be surprised at what you can achieve. Plus, there's something incredibly satisfying about eating something you've grown yourself. If gardening isn't your thing, there are alternatives you can consider. Canned tomatoes are a great option. They're already peeled and cooked, and they have a long shelf life. Plus, they're perfect for sauces and stews. Or why not experiment with other veggies? Bell peppers, zucchinis, eggplants, so they can all add a burst of color and flavor to your dishes. So it might be time to get your green thumb dirty and start that home garden. Who knows, you might just find it's the perfect solution to your tomato trouble. Our beloved grains and legumes aren't immune to shortages either. Let's chat about why that is and what you can do about it, shall we? Grains and legumes, they're the bread and butter of many a meal, quite literally. They're filling, they're versatile, and they're usually pretty cost-effective. But like everything else we've discussed today, they're not spared from the looming specter of potential shortages. What's causing these shortages, you may ask? Well, it's a bit of a perfect storm, really. First, you've got environmental factors like droughts and floods. Grains and legumes are thirsty crops, and without the right amount of water at the right time, yields can take a serious hit. Then we also have an uptick in demand. More and more people are recognizing the nutritional value of these wholesome foods, and producers are struggling to keep up. So what's a savvy consumer to do? Diversify, diversify, diversify. Just like with your stock portfolio, it's wise to spread your bets when it comes to your pantry staples. Sure, wheat and rice may be the usual suspects, but have you tried amaranth or spelt? How about swapping out your chickpeas for some mung beans or lentils? And let's not forget the wonders of the frozen food aisle. Frozen grains and legumes can be a real lifesaver when fresh supplies are running low. They're picked at peak freshness and flash frozen, so you're not sacrificing on taste or nutrition. Plus, they have a longer shelf life, which is always a bonus when you're planning for the long haul. In the end, it's all about being adaptable and open to new culinary adventures. There's a whole world of grains and legumes out there just waiting to be discovered. So why not use this as an opportunity to expand your food horizons? Remember, variety is the spice of life, and your pantry is no exception. So, there you have it. The world of food is changing, and we need to adapt. We've journeyed through the honey hives and the meaty matters, tackled the tomato troubles, and grappled with the grains and legumes. It's clear that as we head into the winter months, we might be facing a different landscape when it comes to our food supplies. But remember, it's not just about stocking up, it's about being adaptable, diversifying our diets, and exploring new culinary avenues. So while we're making sure we have enough honey for our teas, meats for our stews, tomatoes for our sauces, grains for our bread, and legumes for our soups, let's also think about other food items that could fill in the gaps. Don't forget to subscribe and drop a comment below on how you're preparing for potential food shortages. Stay prepared, stay savvy, and stay tuned for more.